with this community. I mean, something's wrong with this thing, and we have to maybe be reminded, we got to be consistent and transparent. And we are not the only one that can hold a big crowd here in the community. They got the college down there too as well. The college can.
What are they gonna have at the college? At the gym?
I don't know. It was mentioned to me they could have, I don't know.
There isn't any place at the college that handle that kind of people, that number.
And
They don't have bleachers to pull out. They've got some, but not very many to pull out in the gym.
Mhm.
There's
And
not
it's
any
no
place.
other place at the Rich Civic Center. No, it's large enough to tote it in. Like I wouldn't have no big funeral.
Yeah.
You know,
But you're saying the same thing that I'm saying. Let's designate, quit worrying about the arena and let's designate the old gym to be used for functions like this. The community paid for it, so
Some of it,
they deserve to have something.
right. I said some of them are taxpayers. And like you said, when the mayor is sitting there too, they need to try to make some provision to get something, a community center or whatever, but they focusing on other things here. And cause you see, not all people. There are some that come since I've been on the board and they like to use that arena. And it's just not, I just think the board needs to look at that, to revisit that and whatever. Because now I haven't saw, I'll just say what I'm gonna say. If certain people comes to us to use that arena, and to me, I would say, it's saying the board is being, what is it, not being biased.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand?
Some people ask me why.
Yeah, it's being, so if we want to be transparent and be consistent and do what's right.
Ms. West, would you like to offer them the whole gym to amend this from the arena? Allow them?
You need a motion for that?
Yes, ma'am.
And no, this is not involving you, Mr. Coleman, it's something that I had to say. Because the reason why Mrs. Johnson, Mrs. Nichols, Mrs. Bogart, and Mr. Jeffers, Ms. Lewis, and Mr. Carrington, and myself, we have done this, we have dealt with this before. And we had a teacher that taught here about 40, 50 years. We all shaking our head. And they had their life celebration at the old arena. Because the superintendent we had at that time didn't go. I'd be so glad we get a superintendent, a firm, bold superintendent here. I don't know what to do. But anyway, what do you want?
Is that the motion at this time?
Y'all want a motion or what? I'm not the only one. What y'all want to do? No favoritism.
Make a motion, make a motion.
Okay. Mr. President, I would like to make a motion that the Blytheville School District Board of Education suggests using the old Chickasaw Arena.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor of use of the Blytheville Old Gymnasium, please signify by raising your right hand.
That question.
Oh,
Is this,
voting that.
so
They'll
is
go
there gonna
back.
be a same fee or?
Yeah, well,
So basically, we're gonna do the same contract?
That's when you, excuse me.
It'd be a different fee.
okay,
And what he would do, I'm quite sure he does, he's very professional. He would go back and redo this application today, just Monday. So if you want to satisfy these people, whoever is with this applicant or whatever, and the reason is because we want to be transparent and not biased. And there's a lot of churches around here, and I'm just, that's just my opinion. You're doing right.
all in favor of granting access to the Blytheville Old Gymnasium at this time, please signify by raising your right hand.
One more time.
The gym, the old gym.
The old gym, okay.
Okay, all opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Mr. Miller, reach out. Read. Let's move down to action item I. Approve the IXL learning renewal for the 25-26 school year.
IXL is across all grade levels for subjects, math, ELA, science, and social studies. We use them also to do diagnostics, to help with intervention, small groups, and all of that.
Okay.
And we've been using it.
What is that?
The IXL. All right, clap.
Who's gonna talk to us about that?
Yeah,
already
please.
did. What you say? Why you know?
I said, we're just approving it. We've had it for about the last 3 or 4 years. It's K-12 for all 4 areas.
Item I,
Yes.
so it apparently it's time for it to be renewed, once a year, what?
We get.
I will entertain a motion at this time for action item I, the IXL learning renewal for the 25-26 school year. Do I have a motion?
I make the motion that we approve action item I.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the IXL learning renewal for 25-26 school year, please signify by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Action item J, reconsideration of the 25-26 school calendar. I can give a little information and discussion on this item here. It was recommended and brought to me by the State Department and our consultants, educational directions about the start of our school year. Having to make up the snow days and going possibly into June, and also the quick turnaround to get school ready for July 17th with the combining of the elementary and primary and the middle schools that are affected by those moves. That it did not set up the incoming new superintendent, him or her, in the best possible position to turn around the schools that quick and just getting into the district. So it was asked for us to reconsider some of the options of going back to our traditional calendar for the next school year, to allow a transition time, to allow the new superintendent, him or her, to get in the position to do some of the necessary hiring with the administration leaders and different dynamics that the new superintendent will have to face.
Yeah.
So it is at this time that I would like to make a motion for the Blytheville School District to return to the traditional school calendar for the 25-26 school year only, to allow a transition and the move to happen in a timely, effective. That has been best recommended.
What will be the starting date?
Same, I believe,
It's
the same.
August
August.
11th.
Yeah,
August 11th.
I appreciate that motion, Miss, well, let me second that motion. I second the motion. And I would like to, when you say discussion, I'll tell you my opinion about it. It's because the teachers, we have to depend on the teachers and the students. And they the one got these children. And at the time, it was a misunderstanding from what they had seen from her leadership team. And I didn't feel comfortable and felt good about that, because we just the board members. They the one has to alter schedules, and the parents got to send the children. So, and I think that's a good idea to happen, because then, we'll see how they work, and then with new superintendent come in, they could have different ideas.
So this was in conjunction, me and Ms. Blankenship, the leadership team met, discussed this. shared some ideas, some strong pros for keeping the optional schedule. I don't want to say year round, but the one that we previously approved. And after extensive meetings and discussions with key members, we just felt that this was the best possible situation for us going into the new school.
I'm very
The personnel policy committee too.
Well, it's the same. It was one of the options. It was a year round or this
We had
calendar.
got two. Remember, look at the two that we got.
Do we have to rescind the previous vote?
Yes, you do. The ones that made the vote, which was Mrs. Johnson, and that one right there.
That in your motion, that's what, to reconsider what you did, so yes.
Okay, did you say,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's
reconsider.
right. And so that takes that, but you were correct. The ones that made the motion, they the one has to go back to the Senate. We've been through this before.
The most. All in favor to reconsider the 25-26 school calendar to this traditional calendar option, please signify by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Now move down to personnel recommendations. Does anyone does anyone object to going into or have a need to go into executive session?
Let me see what we thought, Mr. Hammond, I came in late, Bill starts at 6 o'clock. Can you elaborate, to me on this stipend? Where is it at? L, I mean, or either somebody can talk to me about it later. Cause y'all may know what it is,
All right, cool.
and I'm quite sure maybe you board them do,
Let me help you out with
but approved federal grant stipend.
That's a stipend for the school wellness council coordinator. This person is responsible for planning, developing, initiating, and maintaining and coordinating school health programs related to the Arkansas Department of Education's cooperative agreement with the CDC. The 23-002 grant plan, along with the partners of school health at the Department of Health, the school wellness council coordinator will also lead school nutrition, physical education, and activity and chronic disease activities prescribed in the work plan with evidence-based interventions for school health policies.
Sarah, okay, question. Have we had this, well, before we used to do
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so you all they want some more money.
That was just to approve the federal grant.
It's a stipend.
It's just to approve the stipend. It's not getting into additional money. She's
No.
been given the stipend from this particular grant
Grant.
because that's her role with the Department of Education. But because it's out of federal funds, it must be approved.
Oh, okay, well, that's what okay, I understand that. Okay.
Okay, there's
I'd
no
like to
need.
make a motion that we're going to executive.
You do. We going, yeah,
Is anyone opposed going to executive session at this time?
let me look at this. Oh, I don't suppose I have something I want to talk about.
We're going to executive session at this time.
Would you like me to go or would you like me to stay out here?
Please join us.
That's the wrong one. Because that won't work. Yes. You don't want to go on about this for sure. I know. No.
I didn't know.
It's gonna be recorded. I said, I know when her
That's right. Tear down some of these schools.
I said, no. That's what you keep down. I feel like that's what I was saying. How you doing? He just started. I know. He put his head down to figure out why it's not. I said, okay, not. I know. 145. Then I go back to 2. That's the way it's got to do. Everybody get an upgrade. Come on. We slang it.
Slang it.
All day.
Hey, Robert, I'm taking off with this.
I don't get
Maybe do, big up to me. Yeah. I had to check the date when you asked. I walked in while
Hey, I had no, they've gotten all the way down. This is personnel recommendations.
You got a big fan?
They reconsider the calendar. Normal calendar. State total. School start up in July. So that year round. So they're reconsidering. I mean, a regular school. I just got a year 25, 6. And then changes they got combining. They wouldn't have enough time to get ready. So they'll start to do all this stuff.
I'm going forward.
Everything else. Everything on there. Yes. They'll review arena administration. They change it, like the arenas. that somebody want to rent the arena. So they. To you. They have application, but in hand. You know, it's just a different. But I'm not taking my language. Yes, yes, no matter. Whisper. I ain't gonna be moving my way, I don't. The other speakers.
It's a hit?
Someone say hit?
No, we're a hit.
Oh, you need like a good neighbor. State Farm is there.
At State Farm, we know how to help your growing business.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Stop using ChatGPT for your research. After interviewing over 100 students and researchers, we found that 87% consistently said,
I don't fully trust ChatGPT.
So I always have to fact check the information on Google.
You probably agree with the statement. But what if there was an AI that transparently cites its sources line by line? That's Liner. Liner answers your questions based on credible sources and gives you line-by-line citation. You can check out the exact sentence Liner used to answer your question. This way, you no longer have to fact-check on Google and boost your research productivity. Try Liner today and start researching smarter.
Did you know your AGI determines which tax credits you qualify for? But what exactly is it? Let's break it down in this edition of Tax Tips by TurboTax. The IRS uses your adjusted gross income, also known as AGI, to determine whether you qualify for certain tax deductions and credits, and how much you can claim. Here is the basic formula. Your total income minus certain tax deductions the IRS calls adjustments to income equals your AGI. You can find a list of those deductions on IRS Form 1040, Schedule 1, Part 2. Your AGI can impact the amount of itemized tax deductions you can report. For example, medical expenses are reduced by subtracting 7.5% of your AGI to determine how much you can deduct. Your federal AGI can also have an impact on your state return, as many states use it as a starting point to calculate your state taxable income and eligibility to claim deductions and credits. For certain tax deductions, the IRS uses a calculation called MAGI, or Modified Adjusted Gross Income. Your MAGI can change based on the deduction, but it's essentially your AGI plus any deductions the IRS requires you to add back in, like tax-exempt interest income. Calculating your MAGI is used to determine if you qualify for these deductions. The good news? TurboTax calculates your AGI and MAGI for you and helps you get every tax deduction you deserve. Visit turbotax.com for more info to help you file your taxes with confidence.
True vision starts at the top. Opportunity is wide open.
We have over 600 vendors worldwide. There's a lot on our plate, way too many emails. But with Gemini and Gmail, we can instantly summarize and compare vendor proposals. We never miss a detail, and those things matter.
I'm here for the auction.
It's a bit late for that, son.
I'd like to buy some time.
Come with me. Sold.
Mr. Hamilton, I mean, Mr. Yes.
No, you're good. I'd like to.
Okay, we are now back in open session at this time. I will entertain a motion to accept personnel recommendations A and B at this time as listed.
I make a motion that we accept action item personnel recommendations A and B.
I second.
There's a second. All in favor of personnel recommendations A and B, please signify by raising your right hand. Motion carries. I will now entertain a motion to accept the opening of the Dean of Students position at the Blytheville High School for the 25-26 school year. Position to be advertised and open for applicants at this time.
I move that we accept the motion to have Dean of Students open for applicants for the 25-26 school year.
A second.
All in favor of the opening of the position of Dean of Students at Blytheville High School, school year 25-26, please signify by raising your right hand at this time. Motion carries. I will now entertain a motion to extend the application deadline for building level administrators to March 31st, 2025.
I move that we extend the application deadline for building administrators to March 30.
March 30th.
What was
The
it?
date.
That's just 30 weeks. If you say that,
14 days.
that'd be 14 days. I second.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor for extending the application for building level administrators?
At the high
Application
school.
deadline will be March 31st, 2025. Please signify by raising your right hand.
Did you say at the high school? Oh, yeah.
Motion carries. Is Ms. Blankenship, is there any other business come before the Blytheville Board at this time?
For the report tonight is gonna be the Atlas summatives, interim summatives for the elementary school. I know you guys have some other things to cover, but just to give you a quick rundown, and I will email the presentation to everyone. It started with their third grade math, just a quick review. Level 1 means students have limited understanding. Level 4 is that they are very advanced. So for their third grade math, their level 1 decreased by 25%. And they saw an increase and showed growth in level 2 and even also in level 3. For fourth grade math, they saw a 5% decrease in level 1, and they showed growth in level 2. In their fifth grade math, the level 3 saw a 2% growth. So remember at the last meeting, I was telling you that we want to show growth. We may not always be in the level 4, but if we can show growth within levels, that's what we're striving to do. And once we take the results from the interim data, we'll use those and group students and continue to move those students between levels or even in levels, as long as they're showing growth. Third grade literacy. The level 1 decreased by 11%. Level 4 did show 2% growth. That's what you see there in the blue. Fourth grade literacy, as you can see in the level 1s, we are showing a decrease within those particular levels, and we're growing within level 2. Third grade science, we're not going too fast, but that's another stuff to do. Their level 2 and level 3 showed some growth. Level 2, 4%, and level 3 is 5%. And once again, when you get into what's the difference between the 2 and the 3s, we're wanting, that's part of the pacing and the rigor of the lesson. So that lets you know, increase your rigor in your lesson and continue to move those students and have your intervention and be more, pay more attention to what you're doing and in tune with these particular results. Fourth grade science. And they're still showing growth. Level 2 and level 3, and decreasing in level 1. So we're moving those students and pushing them to the other levels. Fifth grade science, the level 2 had 6% growth. That means they decreased in level 1 by 6%. And we want to just continue to show growth and move those students that can be moved and those that are having interventions, their groups. And I believe probably everybody at the elementary school has a small group so that they are running interventions. And I will email you guys this presentation and the ones for middle school and high school.
Ms. Blankenship.
We have data that compares our data against the state.
We can't pull that, yeah, we can't. You want that report?
That'd be great.
I can do that.
Okay, Dr. Williams?
Yes, sir.
Boyd?
Yes, sir. We'll be brief, but we still have some things we'd like to cover with. Mr. Hoy is going to pass out some handouts to you. And this is what we use as a guide today when we spoke to 4 different focus groups. This was a guide that we followed. I don't expect you to read it now, but I think it'd be good for you to see that. We're going to talk just a little bit more about that. We met with 4 groups today. Mr. Hoy, in just a second, is going to give you a very brief overview of what we gleaned today from those meetings and the community meeting we just left. Now, what we want to inform you about is this. There's going to be a summative report coming from all of these meetings, plus a list of all of the comments we got from the 4 different groups today, 5 different groups. We met with students, we met with administrators, we met with teachers, and we met with classified staff. Then tonight, we had a meeting with a very good group of community members. So I'm going to let Dr. Hoy tell you a little bit about what he gleaned from the meeting today, and just a summary. And then we'll go through a few other items that very quickly.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, John Hoy, I'm glad that he gave me the promotion to doctor. It's just Mr. It's not doctor, but I'll accept it if he wants to give me an honorary. Okay, so I'll tell you, we got here early this morning. The first group we met with was the group of students. These are a group of people that will be most directly impacted by whatever decision this board makes. And it is the sector that's very important to the patrons of this community, what we do with our children. We met with them. And we met with some other groups too. Now, let me tell you, they gave me some comments in terms of what they thought was good about the district, what was good about the community, what the skills are that we need for a superintendent. And they talked about what the challenges would be. And I did them in terms of groups. So it's a little helter-skelter, but I warn you that I counted them just a second ago and I got 15 pages of notes. I don't think you all want all 15 pages.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. So what I did is I put some little asterisks by the ones that seem to be coming up a lot. And I started with the students. And I'll tell you, after we met with the students, we decided, well, as a part of the process, we needed the students to select a person that's going to chair the rest of the work that they're going to do in terms of this particular search. The student that was selected was a young lady. You might know her name is Michaela Wilson. I don't know if you know her, but she's a very energetic, very talented young person at the high school. Anyway, here's what I put asterisks by in terms of the students. In terms of what's good about the community, a common theme throughout the day was the strong spiritual nature of this community. And when I think about this particular part, this is what I think you could sell to any superintendent to come to your district, but also any patrons moving to your district. So they say there are lots of churches here. If somebody wanted to make a spiritual connection, they could. And that's just the nature of this community. And it wasn't just the students that said this. I guess it might be surprising that it came from students, but that's what we heard at first. Yeah. The other thing we heard that seemed to be a common theme is that there's always something to do in this community. There's the things on Main Street that you do. There's a place called the Ritz that's opened back up. You can go see movies, things like that. You can really be entertained. There's something going on a regular basis in this district that would be a good pull for the district. They also talked about the strong tie between the schools and the community college. That came up quite often in the group. They talked about the internship programs. They talked about the ability to go out there and even tie into certain jobs at Newcore Steel. They talked about concurrent credit courses. They talked about all of those opportunities as well. So then we talked about, and they say there are tons of extracurricular things for them to be involved in, from anywhere from Boys and Girls State to the Interact program with the Rotary Club that some of them take part with. So they said there's lots of stuff for them to do. Now, the skills that they want in the superintendent, they
I highlighted a couple of things. They wanted a superintendent that needed to be collaborative. He needed to be able to bring groups together and work with. Also, the students wanted someone that is a good communicator. There's some transparency with oral and written communication. They say, hey, we need somebody that's gonna be a hard worker and be involved in school activities. And being involved in school activities, I think it boils down to this. They wanted somebody that's visible. They said particularly, we don't want a superintendent that's gonna show up at the beginning of the year and then you don't see them again. They want somebody in front of us a lot. They want that. The issues that a superintendent's gonna have to deal with when they come into this district. The students said behavior of students. And then they said, and staff. But I think that's gonna be true in any organization. They said another issue is tardiness of students and absenteeism of students. They said that's an issue that they will need to be prepared to face. And one thing that kept coming up on a regular basis in the meetings that we took notes in is teacher shortage. The students expressed to us that while the district has been good in getting the technology in, they are exhausted with the screen time that they're putting in. They want some real teachers, some hands-on experience. And that's just one of those issues that your new superintendent will have to deal with. Now, when it comes to the next group, oh, wait. Let's see. This is the administrative group. Here's what I got. First asterisk is by, it's in terms of the community, is that they say that there is a great opportunity for growth in this district and in this community because of all of the resources that you have to offer anybody that comes here. They see that as a great positive. They see that you have strong community support for the success of the school district and for the success of our students. They say that you have, and I guess this is twice, strong spiritual community with places of worship. I said that twice. I'll try not to do that again. Okay. The other thing we have is that in a word that kept coming up, and I guess maybe it should come up, they see this community as a family. They say you don't always agree, but you do. If you fall out, you come back together as family and still support each other. That's what the administrators here seem to see. In school, in terms of the district, the things I highlighted were the family cares and supports each other and good people. Now, I'll tell you, the idea of good people kept coming up over and over in terms of the school, the district, and community. He kept saying, well, in terms of good community, you also need good partnerships with the people that are working because good people still have differences. Got to be collaborative and learn how to work them out. They said in terms of this district, there is awesome opportunities for teachers to grow and develop in terms of the professional opportunity, development opportunities, the resources that the schools put behind them in terms of getting fully certified. At the same time, they said, well, you know, we get them trained up and then some of them leave. We're trying to figure out how to recruit and retain teachers. They said that's one of those things that is a good thing. It's also a challenge when it comes to issues that the administrator would have to face. Let's see. Let's see. Support. They said this community supports this district well, and they say that when they talk about a new superintendent that they would like to see in the district, they would like to see someone that has experience as a superintendent. They would like someone with knowledge of policies and they have some background in terms of successfully turning around district. They want somebody that knows finance, but they also want an instructional leader. When it comes to some of the other major issues, because after I got to this point, we got involved in the last couple of meetings, didn't have time, but I will tell you the ones that stand out to me. They want a superintendent that gets out into the community, that makes partnerships in the community, that is a good leader, but also someone that is knowledgeable and strong. Knowledgeable in terms of know what the superintendency is like, know what school districts are like, and there's this idea of the K-12 knowledge. Not favoring any one particular person, not any one particular group, but also being able to make tough decisions when they have to be made and being able to withstand the pressures that come with that. In essence, when we boil down to what they're looking for in terms of all of the groups that met, and you'll get our list, we'll send it to you. And I understand it will be available to the public. They're looking for someone that's willing to come here, stay here and get the hard work done that's needing to be done. Not afraid to stand up to the challenges that will come. And someone with some discernment to be able to cipher through all of the different voices that will come in. And one other thing that kept coming up is they want someone that's going to be good as superintendent board relations are concerned. They want this to be one of those smooth operating, well-oiled machines with leaders and people that can come together and collaboratively agree on some things. So they're looking for a superintendent with the ability to blend all that together. I might have missed something important, Keith, so sharing with you,
You took all the notes.
okay. But they're 15 pages, but some of it's similar, and you will get this, okay? Any questions of me? Oh, yeah.
You know, I told you before, you said a lot of things that the board, we collaborated. And we appreciate that. And it's basic what the community is saying is looking for. One thing that I'm looking for, and I'm a best member, board member, making sure they have passion and dedicated. Don't get here for a minute and things may not run the way they want to. And they just get so complacent or relaxed. And I want them to make sure that I want a superintendent that when they come in, like you said, make it different. If that particular person in my house is not doing the job, they need to go through the procedure and process and let them know that they're not doing their job. And when it comes down for them to do warnings or suspended days off, the next step, they need to let them go. No pity pat. That we want dedicated teachers.
Okay, I was looking for the particular quote that emphasized that someone is going to come and be here.
Yes.
And someone said, we want someone to assume ownership, become a part of this community and this district.
Right.
Someone mentioned that. Someone also mentioned the ability to make tough decisions and stand on.
Firm.
And so those things did come up. And it came up quite a bit when we talked to the teachers, the administrators, classified workers, and I think it may have come up even during the community meeting. I have to go back and look at all the notes, but they are all in there. And what you had said is what has been shared. But
That's what basically. That should be a good one.
and I failed to do something Dr. Williams asked me to do. I talked about your student chairperson that's going to be working with us. He wanted me to name the other. One is Mackenzie Pierce. Will be working with the administrators group to gather information that administrators will submit to us. With classified staff, there's at least a K. I think that's how you pronounce it. K. Okay. For the teachers, Tanya Osagi. Yeah. Okay. So those people will be gathering information from those bodies, but at the same time, and Dr. Williams kept reminding everybody that everybody, whether they're in the room or not, will also have an opportunity for input through the online survey that's available on the district website.
Okay, now those people you just named, they're more or less are employees here in the district.
Right, they're gonna be gathering information.
Okay, why there wasn't a person from your, the community to be as well as person being responsible to, along with this committee? Because see, some of these teachers are not certified. To me, they just like hands. I mean, taxpayers. So
Let me explain the process to, excuse me.
okay, well, explain it to me,
Now,
because I think that.
We had 4 groups today that we met with, and they're all stakeholders in the district. Okay. They've elected a chairperson. They are preparing now to submit questions to that chairperson. Those questions that they submit to the chairperson will be finalized into about 14 interview questions because each one of those groups are going to interview the finalists. So those 4 groups are going to interview the finalists. And then when they get through with, complete their interview during the day, they will submit to you as a board what they felt like the strengths were of that candidate and what the concerns were about that candidate. That will give you something to look through after you complete your interview, to look and see what the other people feel and what they sense after doing an interview with the same candidate. Now, you ask about the community, and I'm going to be very straightforward and tell you. The reason that we don't recommend using a community group is we can't control them.
Why do you think you can control some of the teachers?
Because,
Break that. Detail that more to me.
okay, when we have prepared the different groups, teachers and classified staff and students and administrators, they have got a chairperson that's going to work with them in developing questions. When they develop questions that are all legal questions, and Mr. Hoy is going to edit those, they will become their interview questions. They will ask the same interview questions for every candidate. The same person will ask the questions in the same order. You can defend that process. If you finish this process and you have just random interviews that are not alike, then you cannot defend that. We can defend our process. If we're challenged, we can defend it. Very rarely have we ever been challenged or anything happened because we do it right. And that's our goal, is to do it right. But we do not typically have a community group that interviews the finalists. Now, that is not to say that when that finalist is in your district all day long, that he could have lunch with a group of the members of the Chamber of Commerce or whoever you want him to, meet with the Rotary Club or whatever you want him to do. Because we're going to have an agenda for him or her all day long, starting about 8:30. They've got 4 one-hour interviews during the day. They'll have time to visit schools a little bit during the day. And if you want them to meet with another group, you can. It's going to be your interview process, but that's up to you. And that's the next step we're going to start working on and talk about in just a minute.
The board would have to say so, then, like you said, can interview, say, with the Chambers, Rotary Club, some of the other partnerships that we have, like with renewal and all that. Not to my these little bitty petty little organizations that come up, I'm not talking about them.
Well, you could invite some people if you wanted to come and have lunch with those candidates. You could invite them to come and have lunch with them.
That's what I'm asking, Mr. Hammond. You understand what I'm saying?
Mr. Williams, thank you so much for.
Oh, I'm not through.
Oh, I'm just, thank you for that.
Okay. Okay. John, can you pass these out?
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to be long, but I didn't.
No.
Okay.
No, take your time.
Appreciate that, but we are planning, we are going to do a lot of logistics and have a very planned day for you that you're going to, you look at, and if you don't agree to it and won't change it, we'll make changes. But we want it to be a very smooth day where the interview committees all have the opportunity to complete a very professional interview. And then that night, the board will interview them, the finalists. The only time during that day that you'll be involved is when you meet with that candidate about 5:30 or 6 in the evening and have an informal meal with them. And then when you have that meal, we invite them to bring their spouse or their other significant other person with them. And then after you meet them, then you'll go into your executive session and have the interview. Now look at I just passed out a copy of the agenda, March 17th, Board of Education meeting. We just finished the stakeholder input survey. Mr. Hoy identified the stakeholder group chairs, which is at the bottom. I want to talk to you about the other 2 or 3 things. Interview questions. Now, people, you have 5 criteria that we created that you use to approve for I guess you would say, the skills traits that you want for this new superintendent. Now, what we will do is we will assist you by developing questions related to each one of those criteria. I'll be working on this the next week or so, send you, Mr. Hammond. Well, I'm not going to send them to you. I'm going to do it. We're going to do it through a survey, but we will create about 30 to 32 questions and send them to you. And we'll ask you 2 things. Pick the questions you like. And number 2, we're not telling you have to ask our questions. We're telling you pick the ones you like. And if there's other questions you want to add, you add them. Our ultimate goal is to get to about 22 questions for your interview with the finalists. Those 22 questions will commonly take an hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes or so. And then at the end, you give them an opportunity to ask you questions. They should have something. But that's the interview process. So what you need to expect is this. This is important. It'll be probably a couple of weeks, but you will be receiving an email from McPherson and Jacobson, and I'm going to warn you when it's coming. And it'll be a link to Survey Monkey. And then when you go to that question, that link, you will have an opportunity to pick the questions you like based on the criteria. And when you get down at the bottom, you can add any questions you want. And then you hit that submit button, that'll come back to the home office. They will be submitted to me and we will pick the ones that are prioritized by you. I'm gonna give you an example. If there's one question that have 5 responses from board members that they want the question and 2 that don't, the 5 we would say would that question would be in your interview process. That's the way that it works. The ones that are high priority will be the ones that are selected. And you may add a lot of questions. That's fine too. But that'll be coming in a couple of weeks. Mr. Hammond, I'll contact you and let you know and let you get information to the board. Be expecting this tomorrow, the next day, and in the next couple of days after you get it, go ahead and fill it out and complete it. Now, interview procedures. Now, here's the way we start with the interview and the interview schedule. We start with the groups we met with today because we commonly will have them meet the same time they met today. And then we will plan a calendar around for that finalist when those 4 meet. And they'll have some spare time maybe in the morning at lunch or something of this nature. And we will plan a full day for them. I won't say you're going to plan it because after the 4 things are set, you'll determine what you want to happen during that day. But if anything that you want to add, Mr. Hammond, about an outside group at noon or something like that, that's fine. That is fine. So hopefully you have already talked or will talk about a compensation package before you get to the interview phase. You need to do that. And you need to have some parameters established there. One other thing, Mr. Hammond, I'll mention this, and it'll also be part of your interview package. You need to question and quiz about residency, about your superintendent, where they're going to live, what's their plan, and you need to know that, and you need to be very specific about what your expectations are.
Did anybody in the focus group bring that up?
Yes, they did.
Good.
Yes, they did. They brought it up. They sure did. Let me see. John, what have I left off?
Can't think of anything.
You got the questions coming in a couple of weeks. You'll be warned before that. The application deadline is April the 8th. Then after that closes, we've got a couple of weeks that we've got to finish up all of our vetting. And I can't tell you how many applicants there will be or how many applicants that we will vet to the point where we say we feel comfortable in recommending them to you. But when we come back on the 24th, we will bring you what we call recommended finalists. With those individuals, we'll have a reference of summary information that we've gathered from checking with all the people that we've talked to. We will also have a video of them. And that video, you'll take that reference information, the application, all of that, go into executive session with the video, and then you'll determine who you want to interview. And you'll come back out and tell us, and in a matter of 15 minutes, we'll have the interview set up and have things moving for the 28th, 29th, 30th, and May 1st to get this going, and you finalize a new selection of new superintendent. Questions of me? Took a little bit longer than I wanted, but questions of me?
Questions?
Okay, then. Thank you, Mr. Hammond. I appreciate that. Get into the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there's no other questions or information at this time. Ms. Blankenship, you have anything else to come before the floor? All right. Thank each and every one of you for attending tonight's meeting. Thank you, Dr. Williams and Mr. Hoy, for the work that you've done with the community groups and the focus groups. We look forward to hearing more from the feedback and community suggestions.